Montel Williams built his life on discipline. Military service, the Naval Academy, over 2 decades in uniform. He became one of the most trusted faces in American daytime television. But behind that commanding presence, behind the crisp suits and steady voice, was a man quietly fighting battles that no camera ever captured. For 17 years, audiences welcomed him into their living rooms every afternoon. He listened to strangers describe their deepest pain, addiction, abuse, broken families, and somehow always seemed unshakable. What viewers didn't realize was that Montel understood suffering far more personally than he let on. He wasn't performing empathy. He was living alongside it. The signs started appearing before anyone noticed. Strange sensations, unpredictable fatigue, pain that didn't match anything a disciplined former officer should be experiencing. He tried to do what his military training had always taught him. Push through, stay composed, keep moving. But this wasn't an obstacle he could outwork. In 1999, doctors gave him the diagnosis: multiple sclerosis, a disease that attacks the nervous system, often invisibly, and never really leaves. What followed was one of the cruelest contradictions imaginable. The man whose career depended on projecting strength was now privately terrified of losing control of his own body. MS doesn't care about television ratings or military rank. The pain was relentless. Sleep didn't always help, and every morning, he still had to walk onto that stage and perform confidence he wasn't always certain he had. Managing that level of chronic pain eventually led somewhere dangerous. According to his own later accounts, Montel found himself relying heavily on prescription medication, at times taking more than a dozen pills a day. His fame, he acknowledged, made obtaining those prescriptions far easier than it should have been. What started as a genuine attempt to manage legitimate medical suffering gradually crossed a line that's heartbreakingly easy to miss when pain is the only thing filling your world. His own physician eventually intervened, warning him that the pattern had to stop. That confrontation forced a reckoning. Montel later became a vocal advocate for medical cannabis as an alternative approach to managing his symptoms, describing it as offering meaningful relief from nerve pain without the consequences he associated with opioid use. That position came with serious criticism, but it also came from serious experience. Then in May 2018, everything changed again. While working out in a New York City hotel gym, Montel suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleeding event inside the brain that can be fatal within minutes. He recognized something was terribly wrong and got help fast. Doctors confirmed bleeding in his brain. Nobody could promise what recovery would look like, or whether a full recovery was even possible. But he came back. Slowly, stubbornly, through months of rehabilitation, he rebuilt functions that the stroke had disrupted. His speech returned, his strength returned, and perhaps most importantly, his willingness to be honest with the public returned, stronger than before. At 70, Montel Williams represents something more valuable than a success story. He represents what it actually looks like to survive. Not perfectly, not painlessly, but genuinely. He proved that the people who appear most unbreakable are often carrying the heaviest weight in silence. His greatest strength was never the military career or the television ratings. It was the courage to finally say, "I was struggling, and I kept going anyway." If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe. More stories like this are coming.